Okay, so I'm doing something a bit different now with my channel. I'm going to start doing some game reviews. And I know the channel says Daniel's film reviews, but you know what? This isn't some sort of Nazi dictatorship, so I'm doing a game review. And the game I'm going to be reviewing is Devil May Cry, the new reboot that's just been released. Okay, so the plot of the new Devil May Cry is a reboot set in a parallel universe from the other Devil May Cry games. And it basically follows the story of Dante, the protagonist from the other games, and it's about how he joins the Order with the leader Virgil, learns about who he is, what he is, and then it's about him against this other demon called Mundus, who's trying to take down Dante and basically overthrow the world. Now the story is really interesting and really good, but it doesn't really go so far or go extremely, you know, take you to any extremely dark place or anything. It's just pretty much serviceable. I mean, it's got some great twists and turns here and there and really pushes the story forward, but there's no connection between the characters. I mean, there's a relationship between Dante and Virgil, and it never really goes anywhere until the very end, and it kind of comes out of the blue. And apart from that, there's not really much connection between the characters, and it just needed a bit more human heart to it, maybe. Now, some people have complained about this being a reboot and that, you know, the design of it and everything. You know what? That doesn't bother me. To be fair, I'm not a big hack and slash gamer myself, so I just took this for what it was. I mean, I played the demo, enjoyed it, and brought the game, and then I ended up having a really fun experience with it. I'll start off and say the game is beautiful. I mean, the lighting on it is absolutely phenomenal, and the colour scheme that they've used, it's absolutely supreme. And it's by the same makers of a game called Enslaved, and you kind of get that same kind of artist style from that, and it's just a beautiful looking game. I mean, the animations on the characters and when you're using your weapons and stuff, it kind of flows in such a beautiful and interesting manner that it's never not engaging to look at. And then when it's contrasted, there's some times when you're not in Limbo, which is the world in which Dante fights these demons. You're in just the normal world, and you get this like kind of grey, drab overtone, so it really makes you appreciate that art style even more when you're in the Limbo world. And as a hack and slash game, you're probably wondering how the combat is, and the combat is fantastic. It never gets stale. You get a host of weapons, and so as you progress you're getting more and more abilities and more weapons, so it's always refreshing and new. And you get I played it on the 360 version, so if you hold the left trigger you're able to use the angel weapons, and then if you hold the right trigger you're able to use the demon weapons. You also get some guns as well, so you're able to mix it up and really throw about some nice combos and really, you know, have an interesting mix. And you feel the impact on the enemy, so when you hit an enemy you really feel like you're genuinely hitting them. Unlike a game which I played last year called Lollipop Chainsaw, I didn't really feel like the combat had any weight to it. It was kind of sluggish and slow. On this, it's nice, fast-paced, brisk, but you really feel like you're creating some damage on the enemies. A drawback though is there's no lock-on, so sometimes you could be like fighting an enemy and you're trying to keep your combo going and not getting hit, so you're evading around, but then you're kind of like stuck to lock onto an enemy and move towards them, so you kind of just mix and match, especially at times when there's flying enemies and you're trying to shoot them in the air. So when you're pressing the fire button you're firing on enemies on the ground, and then they're still in the air attacking you, which is really primarily what you want to take out first. There's also some nice traversal and there's some nice platforming elements. I mean, you get this ability so you can able to swing towards other platforms and pull them towards you and stuff like that, and you can like fly across and stuff. But sometimes the platforming can be kind of misjudged, and you're not sure whether you need to use a boost at the end of the jump or if you're meant to just double jump. I mean, it feels fine in combat, but when you're in the actual platforming elements of the game, sometimes it can just be a little bit misjudged. And in the world as well, there's plenty to seek out and unlock, so you can go to challenge rooms, find collectibles and stuff like that. The only problem is the challenge rooms never really are that challenging. I mean, there's a couple that, you know, kind of push you a little bit, but nothing that's really too much of a drawback. And it kind of benefited from some extra modes as well on top of it, because the campaign is quite short. I mean, there's other difficulties and stuff like that to play through it again and to go back and get collectibles, but you know, maybe like an arena mode or a wave mode, something like that, just to keep people coming back for more and keep it, you know, just a little bit interesting. However, it's such an engaging and fun experience. I was never bored with it, and I was constantly wanting more and more. I just wish there was a little bit more in there, and there was a couple of polishing here and there. It's a fantastic reboot, and I'm really interested to see where the reboot goes and where the series goes, because I'm guessing they're going to go to some really interesting places with it, and it'll be really exciting to see. So overall, I'm going to give DmC a 4 out of 5. I think it's a really superb game. It's a really inventive new way to take the series. It's still got this fantastic combat system. It's still got a great design, and it's just a really interesting and refreshing way to play the game. And as usual, if you like this review, you can click subscribe and you can see more.